Factually inaccurate. Morally correct. This is Babylon Bee Radio. Our top story. After a critically acclaimed first season that was allegedly watched by some people, the producers of the January 6th hearings have sadly confirmed that their star Liz Cheney will not be returning for season 2. Fellow actor and screenwriter for the show, Adam Schiff, said, quote, "Liz was a standout in season 1 and we're sad to see her go. We will carry on without her, however, as there are many more exciting storylines we have planned for next year. As of now, it is unclear whether Cheney's character will be killed off or whether her role will be filled by another actress. Rumors have suggested the showrunners are considering Drew Barrymore, Cate Blanchett, or Cory Booker in a wig. Cheney released a statement saying, quote, "It's been my honor to serve the people of Wyoming by spending my every waking minute fighting Donald Trump, just like Abraham Lincoln did. I look forward to a bright future of living off book advances and scoring a pundit position at MSNBC." Producers have confirmed the J6 hearings are being renewed for 12 more seasons. Beloved CNN host of Reliable Sources Brian Stelter is being let go from the network after being accused of sexual misconduct by Mrs. Potato Head.
"Here at CNN, we take all allegations of sexual harassment very seriously,"
said a spokesman for the network.
"The charges leveled by Mrs. Potato Head were so egregious we couldn't bury it any longer. Usually, when you bury these things, they multiply and you'll be dealing with 10 more by the time you uproot them."
Sources say Stelter's firing is part of a larger effort to remove staff members who are caught up in harassment allegations and who also have a show no one watches.
These charges are false, and I'm furious that CNN would allow my good name to be besmirched like this. And you can tell how angry I am, because I'm wearing my frowny mouth and angry eyes.
At airtime, Stelter confirmed he would be taking his time off to reconnect with relatives in Idaho. Thousands of American citizens still stranded in Afghanistan 1 year after the Biden administration's overnight retreat are beginning to suspect the president may not be coming back for them, sources say.
"We've waited patiently outside Kabul International Airport for a year now, but you know what? I'm starting to think President Biden isn't going to come for us,"
said one citizen who asked for his name to be withheld for his own protection.
"I really hate to say it, but it almost seems like he doesn't even care. Am I a terrible person for thinking that?"
Representatives for the new Taliban government insisted that all Americans are being treated humanely and will live happy lives as long as they never disobey or question Sharia law, in which case they will be tortured to death.
"We will continue to wait patiently in hopes that Mr. Biden will think of us and maybe send someone,"
said another American refugee.
"I'm sure he's working on a brilliant plan and will send people for us any minute."
At airtime, several stranded Americans submitted an anonymous tip to the FBI that they were in possession of several classified documents from the Trump presidency, in hopes that the FBI will send someone to get them. President Biden was loaded onto a convenient death cart this week despite protests that he was not yet deceased. Witnesses claimed the president wriggled a bit in the grip of Vice President Kamala Harris as she insisted he was pretty much as good as dead and attempted to load him onto the cart.
No, I'm not dead yet. I'm happy. I feel happy. Come on, man.
According to sources, Harris got into a brief argument with the body collector who maintained that it was against regulations to take him like that.
"I have a strict policy to only transport dead people. I'm no biologist, but I think this fellow's alive."
Witnesses claim Harris laughed a considerable amount throughout an undisclosed agreement with the body collector. Biden, who appeared to be mostly alive just a moment prior, suddenly stopped moving after the body collector went in for a closer inspection. The White House later confirmed Biden tragically died of totally natural, not at all suspicious causes, and named Kamala Harris president in his place. Local woman Carly Bampkins, who was a tomboy in the 90s, is thanking God she didn't grow up today when her boobs would get hacked off by a gender surgeon.
"When I was a little girl, I loved Nerf guns and BMX bikes and wearing boyish clothes. As I grew up, I became more feminine, and now I'm married with 3 beautiful kids. If I had grown up today, they would have chopped me up, drugged me, put me in a GSA club, and tried to turn me into a boy. Bullet dodged."
Gender theorists disagreed with Bampkin's assessment, suggesting she may be missing out on her true calling as a man.
"It's a pity our society wasn't as enlightened about transgenderism a quarter century ago."
Dr. Joe Mangel, clinical psychologist and gender studies expert at Johns Hopkins University.
"Millions of young girls in the 90s really missed out on having their bodies irreparably mutilated by me during early adolescence. With today's more modern understanding, we are finally free to destroy the futures of young girls who just like wearing hoodies and playing sports."
Gender experts are warning that girls may end up like Carly Bampkins unless they listen to the science by cutting off their boobs, removing their wombs, and drugging themselves with testosterone at the first sign of any, quote, non-feminine tendencies. Boston Children's Hospital made history this week by throwing the first child off the roof based on the child's, quote, felt need to have their birdhood affirmed. The child is now back in treatment at Boston Children's Hospital for broken bones, but the hospital is standing by its decision to fling the child off the roof to affirm their right to flight.
Common questions from parents include, are you sure we should let little Johnny try to fly? Or could we try from a lower jump point before committing to the second story? Or where are you taking my child?
A promotional video posted by Boston Children's Hospital features a mild-mannered doctor describing the, quote, species-affirming care children can receive.
We always give parents the same answer. Always affirm your child's felt needs. Never correct or counsel them. If they want to fly, don't take their wings.
Boston Children's Hospital has expanded its trauma care wing to handle the influx of children with broken legs, spines, and tailbones. Some parents have protested that they were not made fully aware of the potentially irreversible harm of throwing their children off roofs, but those parents have been tagged as potential threats by the FBI. Thousands of kindergartners across the U.S. have been dropped off at their local public school for their first day of grooming.
This is a momentous occasion in every child's life,
said elementary school teacher Janks Nimfix, they, them.
We look forward to inviting these young, impressionable minds into the world of radical gender theory to discover more new genders and sexual fetishes than any generation prior. Welcome to school, kids!
The medical community also celebrated as non-consenting children were stripped away from the protection of their parents by the millions and ushered into a multi-billion-dollar medical industrial complex sales pipeline determined to turn them into lifetime consumers of artificial hormones, plastic surgery, and abortion. Welcome to school, kids, said Boston Children's Hospital in an official statement. In addition, politicians in Washington marked the first day of in-person grooming by celebrating the formation of an entirely new victim class that could be easily exploited for votes. Welcome to school, voters, said the DNC in an official statement. Public schools are hoping that with hard work, they can get their children gender confused at an advanced level this year, catching up from lost time during the pandemic. According to sources, local father John Patterson grabbed a map as soon as his family entered the gates at Disneyland over the weekend. Patterson then barked orders like some battle-hardened general or squad leader executing a daring battle plan to his troops.
All right, men, listen up. We only get one shot at this. We're going to split up and send Bravo Squad through Tomorrowland to hit Star Tours and Buzz. Now, you can sneak in the rockets if you want to risk it, but if the line is any longer than 20 minutes, I want you to cut and run. Cut and run. Don't look back and don't second guess me. Charlie Squad, we're gonna hit Adventureland and try to do Indiana Jones. I know that line has killed many a Disneyland trip, but it's a risk we'll have to take.
The grizzled father timed out every aspect of the trip down to the minute, from bathroom breaks to food stops, and planned the most efficient route through the park, maximizing ride time and avoiding long lines throughout the day.
If everything goes according to plan, we're gonna have the most efficient trip ever, with over 15 rides in just 4 hours. But it's absolutely crucial that you do what I say. Now let's move out!
Patterson's plans were wrecked after his wife said, "Ooh, churros!" and derailed everything, causing him to fume as they stood in line for Pirates for 90 minutes. Now you're up to date on the only news that matters. Find more fake news you can trust at BabylonBee.com. Until next time, this is Austin Robertson, the voice of the Babylon Bee. So long.